Your ambition drives you in one direction. My path lies in another.
We just discovered the biggest theory around Ahsoka and the future of the Star Wars galaxy in the finale. Welcome to Star Wars Uplink. The finale of Ahsoka happened, and I have so many emotions around it.
Emotions, questions, all the things.
Sadness, despair, excitement, all of the feels were in that episode. There are so many bits and pieces and moving parts and threads that they set up in this whole series that we didn't get a whole lot of conclusions to. We have more questions now than we started, and we're down 2 fewer Jedi in the galaxy. If there was Ahsoka, and then at that time, Sabine wasn't a Jedi.
Oh, that's true.
And now there are 2 Jedi on the other galaxy, and there's one Ezra.
Yeah.
So I guess they're down 1.
They just kind of swapped him. They swapped.
Yeah. So yeah, Ezra is now back in the Star Wars galaxy, as well as Thrawn, and Ahsoka and Sabine are stuck on this new planet. But Shin and Baylan, both on very different paths, are stuck on that planet as well. Baylan by choice.
Yeah, Baylan. Yeah. Baylan was the one that we did not get anything on this last episode, which is wild.
Yes, but what we did get of him in that episode changes Star Wars entirely. We did our live stream reaction to it, and through that discussion with a bunch of awesome subscribers and friends of the podcast, we came to this realization. The real theory, the real thing that Dave Filoni is setting up in Ahsoka is all around Baylan, which is it's sad that we lost Rey, and because he did such a great job with that character and adding such a detail and rich tapestry to that character. Someone so unique in the Star Wars galaxy. Neither Sith nor Jedi, really. And with that being said, there is a lot of discussions and theories going around with the Father, the Son, and the Daughter, who are these 3 beings that represent the balance of the Force, and that was shaken and has been disbanded, really? But at the end of the episode, we do see Baylan on a statue that is the Father, with the Son next to him, and the Daughter cut in half.
Yes.
So the theory that we've come to is, what if eventually towards and throughout this series and throughout this galaxy, we see Baylan searching for something on this planet, in this galaxy. He's searching for something that's calling to him, and he's searching for an end to the cycle. What if he is actually searching for the Father, or becomes the Father, the representation of balance in the Force, which I think he does so well? What if he becomes the Father?
I feel like it's even more apparent that this is what he's doing, because right when he gets on that planet, he says this is the place for stories, fairy tales,
legends.
What else is that other than the Father, the Son, and the Daughter? Like, that is the mythical, like, trinity of Star Wars.
Yeah, truly. And the whole representation of, like, this Garden of Eden, and these forces that are constantly trying to scrounge for control, but in that we find balance. And the theory that we came to is start theorizing on who is who. And we think that Baylan is going to become the Father. Ahsoka is very closely tied to the Daughter, so that could be the Daughter. But what if Shin becomes the Son? In this representation and this continuation of the legend, and going to the foundation, going to the roots of the beginning of the Force and the beginning of these stories. What if through this we find our new Trinity?
It's kind of a big if, but it's kind of not. It makes sense.
It plays perfectly into what we think of as Dave Filoni's mission in Star Wars, really. Like, he has a very clear, I don't want to say agenda, But when you look at his creations in Star Wars, he is so closely and most interested in the mysticism, the Night Sisters, the history, the creation of the world between worlds, the exploration of this idea that the Force is bigger than is expected, something that is larger than how everyone uses it, whether that's being used as a weapon, a tool, or to enhance your skills as a lightsaber wielder, or what have you. There are so many different expressions to how you utilize the Force, and I feel like that's what Dave Filoni most enjoys exploring.
Dave Filoni likes to push the boundaries of what the Force is.
Both good and bad, I would say.
Yeah. It definitely makes for a really interesting story and a different kind of background or backdrop to what we normally see in Star Wars. My question is, what would this mean for the Thrawn villain? You know, like, so we've got, this is happening in a totally different galaxy. What would
I don't
this
think it's
mean?
going to affect Thrawn. I think it's going to be like the main focus of Ahsoka Season 2, but it's going to be a piece or a cog in the wheel of this new era,
Right.
rather than being the focus of it.
Gotcha.
It's going to be like
It's
texture.
Right. It's more of the
Understanding of how the Force works, and maybe
Yeah.
broadening Ahsoka's perception of how the Force is used, particularly in how Balin is quote-unquote the bad guy in Ahsoka's view. But having him be the embodiment of the Father would definitely challenge that.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I definitely think it would just be like one of the, like you said, the cogs in the wheels for the next season. I don't think we're going to see a lot of Thrawn. I imagine he's just going to be prepping things and behind the
Placing
scenes.
his chess pieces.
Still kind of like how they are in Mandalorian, where he's just kind of mentioned in the background, sort of thing. Like he'll end up being that threat in the background again. So it's going to be probably the way, some new Force thing to get home, I would assume.
Maybe.
Or they just get stuck there and they have to help how they can, where they can. I could see Ahsoka just getting stuck there, becoming
Like
something
permanently.
like becoming something greater, being elevated to this almost godlike status, and then it's Sabine who's the one who goes
It is
back
possible.
to save, because she's also been
Or
enlightened.
doing like a Yoda thing, or doing like a Obi Wan thing, or doing like
a Luke thing.
yeah, exactly. Like have this like that's the arc of like these super powerful Jedi, is they get to this point and they go to this like level of separation from reality. Like they're part of things, but they're separate in that same moment.
Yeah. And we're seeing that with Ahsoka already. She's gone from Gandalf the Grey to Gandalf the White. It's like, now what's the next step for her? Probably something pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, it's going to be very fascinating to see where these pieces end up falling, and how all of this affects the galaxy, because whatever is set up here is going to impact the future of everything in the Star Wars galaxy. We already have so many crazy pieces that have been put into motion. We have everything that's going to go on with the Night Sisters. There's your theory around what Thrawn is actually carrying, which we'll get into another video. And there's the idea around Ezra, Thrawn, and what the galaxy is going to do with this real threat. It's like Voldemort coming back. And they're he's back. Like, because they were thinking that was fake. And now here we are in a different part of the galaxy, in a different time frame, and Thrawn is now the ultimate big bad. Or will be eventually. But let us know your thoughts on this theory and what you would like to see going forward. As always, check out our podcast, and may the Force be with you.